In this example, I want to show you how to use GoalSeek in order to find the monthly payment on a house based on changing other information. So the GoalSeek is used as a type of what-if analysis. What if this number should be this amount by changing some other amount in order to get it to that number? So it's an algorithm that's used in order to say, what if this, then what else would need to be changed? So for example, in this house payment data, we have our original data here, and then I have what we'll use for our what if analysis. So let's say, for example, what if I can afford a monthly payment of a house of $800 instead of $500? So in order to get it to $800, I need to find some way to change some data in order to get the monthly payment to $800. So I have some formulas in here where I've calculated the monthly payment and the interest rate and so forth. So what I'll do is I will say, if I wanted my monthly payment to be $800, because that's what I can afford, if I need to change it to that, you can see there's a formula there. In order to get it to $800, how do I change some of this other data? You can only change one piece of data at a time using the GoalSeek. So in this first example, I'm going to say, I can afford a little bit more of a house and pay $800 a month. So what price of a house can I afford at $800 a month, given this interest rate and that I will be paying for 30 years. So I'm going to click on the monthly payment because that's what I want to change. You don't necessarily have to click there first, but I usually do. So when you are looking at the GoalSeek, you need to set a cell to a certain value. Okay, so what I want to do is set my monthly payment in E18 to $800. And in order to get it to that point, I have to change something. So in this case, I want to say, how much of a house can I afford for $800 a month, given the same interest rate in the years? So I want to change the price of the house. So logically, if we looked at that, if I can afford more for a monthly payment, that price of the house should go up. I should be able to afford more than $100,000. So I'm going to change cell E13, and it automatically puts the absolutes in there, so you don't have to worry about that. So when you click on OK, it goes through an algorithm and tries to find the closest to that value that you entered. So in this case, if I wanted an $800 payment at 6.5 interest, 30 years, I can afford $134,000 in the price of the house. Okay, and that's given the same down payment amount. So I can click OK here if I want to accept it or cancel. I'll click on cancel. I want to show you a couple of other things here. There are a couple of things you need to remember with GoalSeek. Again, you can only change one value in order to meet your goal, right? So if my goal was $800 for the monthly payment, I can only change one other value here at a time. So I changed the price of the house. So if I tried, for example, if I wanted to try to set the monthly payment to $800, and let's say instead of using the price of the house, I use the loan amount. So if I do that, I'm going to select cell E15. It's going to say that cell must contain a value. Okay, so the other thing you need to remember about GoalSeek is that the cell that you change, that last one that you enter, cannot have a formula. So this one has a formula, so I cannot use that loan amount, because if it has a formula, it doesn't know how to change the algorithm in Excel to adjust that formula to meet your goal, because the formula relies on a couple of cells. So this has to be a cell and not a formula. So that's why we're a value and not a formula. That's why we used the price. So you could do the same thing and say, okay, if I wanted to set my monthly payment to $800. And let's say, okay, maybe I can decrease the number of years that I have to pay since I'm paying more each month. So let's see how many years we would have to pay on that if we increased our monthly payment to $800. So in order to get it to that point, we're going to adjust the years this time. And so you can see you'll be paying about half the amount of time if you increase the monthly payment to $800. And this would drastically decrease the amount of interest. If you can see here, the total interest on the house would be $52,000, total cost of $152,000, whereas before you can see that it would be a lot more interest and total cost that you would pay for the house over that period of time. So that's one example of the goal payment using the house payment. You can use the same thing in terms of GoalSeek for car loans and other types of loans.